in baseball.
Right side, Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. Oh, he's safe.
You want more? You got it, because Fox Saturday Baseball is next. We're in the Lone Star State, where Tampa Bay comes to town with the best record in the bigs. Can the resurgent Rangers slow down the runaway Rays? While in St. Louis, it's an NL Central showdown as the Brew Crew and the Cards look to light up the scoreboard. And the Florida Marlins look to take a bite out of the Big Apple and the New York Mets. No reason to be gloomy in June, because Fox Saturday Baseball starts right now. Welcome to the Chevrolet pregame show on Fox. Well, it is June 5th in Arlington, Texas. You tell me. Where's your AMS seal of approval? What do you think the weather is? That's right. It is triple digits outside. Wear your sunblock, bring your hat. Down on the field, 110. That's why I am all the way up here. And with that, hi, everybody. We welcome you to Fox Saturday Baseball. It is presented to you by Chevrolet. Now, in just a few minutes, most of you are going to stay right here for a battle of first-place teams. And, hey, later on, we're going to have a barbecue on my forehead. Some of you we're going to send out to St. Louis to check out the red-hot Albert Pujols. 9 for his last 17, second in the NL in batting. His Cards are taking on the Brew Crew and Prince Fielder. And the rest of you are off to New York City to see if Hanley Ramirez and the Marlins or David Wright and the Mets can move closer to first in the National League East. Well, it was a huge week in the world of baseball, highlighted by the imperfect ending Wednesday night up in Motown. What started with a blown call and a missed chance at history concluded with a lesson in humility and class by both umpire and player. Armando Galarraga, perfect. 2 outs in the ninth, appears to beat Jason Donald to the bag, but inexplicably, Jim Joyce calls him safe. After the game, Joyce watched the replay, entered the Tigers clubhouse, and profusely apologized to Galarraga for his error.
Players are human, the umpires are human, the managers are human. We all make mistakes. You know, Jimmy's a real good umpire, has been for a long time, and he probably got it wrong.
I take pride in this job, and I kicked the shit out of that, and I took a perfect game away from that kid over there who worked his ass off all night.
You don't see an umpire tell after the game and say, hey, let me tell you, I'm sorry. It's not happened, really. He apologized, and he feel really bad. Only when you see him, you say, oh, my God, he feel really bad.
The next day, Chevrolet gave Galarraga a Corvette, and a nice move by Jim Leland having his pitcher deliver the lineup card to a tearful Joyce who was working the plate. The commissioner of baseball, Bud Selig, he would not reverse the call, but may look into expanding the instant replay. Well, earlier on Wednesday, they weren't talking about the end of a game, but rather the end of a career. Ken Griffey Jr., he called it quits. Right in the midst of his 22nd big league season, Jr. had lost the DH job with Seattle, a place where he burst onto the scene as the kid in '89. He wowed us with that sweet swing, prodigious blast, and endless enthusiasm. Griffey not only put the Seattle Mariners on the map, but may have saved the franchise from moving out of the Pacific Northwest. And you look at the numbers, 630 career home runs, 5th all-time, 10 Gold Gloves, 13 All-Star games, and he's responsible for more backwards caps in BP than anyone in baseball history. All right, before we get you out to your game, Fox wants to pay its condolences to the family of John Wooden. Arguably sports' greatest coach ever passed away last night at the age of 99. The Wizard of Westwood, he used the pyramid of success en route to 10 titles in 12 years at UCLA. That included 7 straight. All told, 885 wins, highlighted by an amazing 88-game winning streak for the Bruins. Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski said, Coach Wooden was called the gold standard of coaching. I believe he was the gold standard of people. John Wooden, a leader and teacher of young men, gone at age 99.
to the Rangers ballpark in Arlington. Two teams in first place in their respective divisions in the American League battle it out. It's the Tampa Bay Rays against the Texas Rangers. And welcome, everyone, to Arlington. Nick Stockton along with Kevin Kennedy. And, Kevin, we may look a little comfortable, but we'll be broiling like everyone else today.
You got that right.
Well, talk about these teams, and recently they both had bumps in the road despite the fact they're in first place.
Well, for Joe Madden and the Rays, he's just one of the most resilient managers in the game, one of the most positive guys in the game. He won't let this ball club get down when they do face that bump in the road, and they faced that last night and the last couple of weeks in reality. 1 through 5 in the rotation, that's been the key, one of the youngest rotations in baseball, but the old graybeard is on the mound today. 28 years old, James Shields, their number one starter. He'll face a very tough Rangers lineup. As we know historically, they can swing the bat. But the key for the Rangers this year, and since Nolan Ryan has been the president, is starting pitching, accepting more responsibility, getting deeper into the game. They've got Tommy Hunter, the youngster, back up from his injury, pitching today.
Plenty of star power on display today as the Rays battle the Rangers.
Cool, and the Ranger fans braving the heat. There's a good way to do it. Double-barreled action, you might call that, as we're set to go for the second game of the series between the Rays and the Rangers. And there is Tommy Hunter, who is starting in place of the left-hander Derek Holland, who was put on the DL with a left rotator cuff inflammation.
Yeah, Tommy had a strain in late March, and he's been out quite a while. He did have 26 2/3 innings in the minor leagues at Oklahoma City. So overall, he's ready to go. Strike thrower, he's got the whole arsenal. He developed the cutter recently, and he'll use that in on lefties. Faded away from righties, cut it off the inside corner as well to right-handers, and he's coming off that oblique strain that I talked about, and he's missed all season. So this is his first start back up in the big leagues. He had a good year last year in the times in the big leagues. He won 9 games, and he actually beat the Rays.
So that is our sprint pitcher profile as Hunter makes his first major league start. This game brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the thirst inning. The beer that starts with full flavor, ends with a crisp, clear finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. And stepping in is John Jaso and hitting leadoff for the first time in his career. And the first pitch is a strike. Ben Zobrist had been the leadoff hitter against right-handers, but Joe Madden with a different twist today.
Yeah, John Jaso has never let off, but he does work the count, and he doesn't strike out much. He strikes out a lot less than he walks.
And Jaso having a good year as he takes ball 1-1, and his on-base percentage, and this will give you a hint, .425, which leads all rookies in the league. He also has 18 walks, second. So Joe Madden knows what he's doing to have Jaso the catcher leading off. And there's a call strike, and it's 1-2.
Well, he's also a good base runner. I think he's the best I've seen so far for Tampa Bay as far as getting that secondary lead. And if that ball's in the dirt, he's off and running. He's done that several times this season. So he's also a better base runner than what people may think.
And off the fist and a slow roller to Elvis Andrus, who can't find the handle, and Jaso is on. So the Rays get the base runner on, and Carl Crawford will be hitting second, setting the stage for Evan Longoria.
Yeah, this is the guy you see. He's going to make this play, and he gathered it up, and Jason didn't get out of the box very well, and he just boots it. Doesn't happen very often with Andrus.
So Jaso is on at first base, and here's Carl Crawford, who's hitting .313 with 5 home runs and 32 runs batted in as Andrus commits his 7th error of the season. Michael Young is playing a couple of steps in at third, and there's a ground ball to the right side. Kinsler will go to second for the force, and that's all. So Crawford becomes the base runner, and there's one down.
I think Joe Madden would take that, Dick. Having Carl Crawford is 17 stolen bases at first base other than John Jaso to make it out.
And here's Evan Longoria coming to the plate, and Crawford tied for 5th with 17 stolen bases. And Evan Longoria right now is the leading vote getter for third base, and may be hard to catch. He has a 300,000 vote lead over A-Rod, and it would be his first starting assignment, and throw to first base, and getting back is Crawford. Longoria has played in 2 consecutive All-Star games, but looking to get there as a starter.
Yeah, he's phenomenal on the defensive side too. If you get a chance to watch him a lot, watch him every day, you see it almost every night. A great play defensively, not just with the bat.
Crawford bluffs but doesn't go, and the pitch taken for ball 1. And Longoria last night hitting his 11th home run of the year in a losing cause as the Rangers won 9-6. That was the most runs that the Rays have scored in a losing game this year. And a call strike, 1-1.
Well, the offense really hasn't gotten on track. They're off to a good start in April offensively. The pitching staff, forget about it. 1 through 5, they've been great. Wade Davis has scuffed a little bit here recently as the number 5 guy, but Longoria's in the 3 spot now, and I believe that's where he should be. He was hitting 4th most of the year. Jason Bartlett got hurt. He's on the DL now. So now it's put Evan Longoria in the 3rd spot. And I believe you have to have your best hitter hit in the 1st inning, and that's Evan. And I think he gets more pitches with Carl Crawford on first base, too.
His 43 runs batted in, tied for 4th in the league. And the 1-1 breaking ball on the outside corner. Good pitch by Raymond Tommy Hunter III, 23-year-old from Indianapolis, Indiana, in his 3rd season. And he earned his first victory of his major league career last year against these Rays, and it happened on his 23rd birthday.
It's a young umpire behind the plate from the International League, Scott Berry. I believe Phil Cuzzy is on his leave for vacation time. So Scott Berry has been up and down the last 5 years as a replacement when one of the umpires goes on vacation. Evan didn't like that last call, thought it was off the outside corner.
The 1-2 pitch, and it's sliced foul out of play. And here are the umpires on this very hot day as we approach 100. Scott Barry behind the plate, Chris Guccione at first. The crew chief Jerry Crawford is at second, and Brian O'Nora, the umpire, at third. Texas Rangers with a 1-game lead over the Oakland A's in the West. And the breaking pitch is up high, and the count is even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Tampa Bay coming in at 36-19, the best record in all of baseball, despite the fact, Kevin, they lost 6 of 8 games prior to going to Toronto and winning 2 there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's really been their pitching overall, the starting pitching. It's a good running count now. Eliminates the pitch out, going 2-2.
Runner doesn't go, and the count is full, 3-2 to Longoria.
Well, he'll be going now. he's put Carla Crawford where he's in a definite run situation right here, so it becomes a run and hit play.
And Ben Zobrist, who's the leading hitter, waiting on deck for the Rays. The lead by Crawford. And he gets a good jump. 3-2 pitch, strike 3. And Longoria strikes out on a high fastball, but Crawford got a good jump and has his 18th stolen base of the year. And here is today's defensive alignment for the Rangers. Josh Hamilton, Julio Barbone, and David Murphy in the outfield. Michael Young, Elvis Andrus, Ian Kinsler, and Justin Smoke, the infielders, and Max Ramirez behind the plate. And the battery, Tommy Hunter on the mound. So here is Zobrist with 2 down, and Crawford is second, runner in scoring position.
You know, on that strikeout, Longoria crossed the plate, and catcher Max Ramirez was looking for an interference call, but I think Scott Berry did the right thing. No call, no contact, no call.
1-0 to count to Zobrist. Ben Zobrist, who was at second base last night, very versatile player, in right field today. Was 3 for 4 last night and has hits in 16 of his last 17 games. Count is 1-1.
Here's the pitch to Evan Longoria for strike 3, up and out of the zone. But watch Evan cross the plate right here. Max Ramirez, now his mistake is if he makes contact, they will call interference, and not only the strikeout, but Carl Crawford would be called out. But he doesn't make contact. I used to tell my catchers, Dick, make contact on that. But you try to avoid contact and you don't get the call.
1-1 pitch to the switch hitting Zobrist, and a comebacker to the mound, handled by Hunter, and that'll do it in the first inning. There was an error, and the Rays leave a runner in scoring position. No score as the Rangers come up in the first. Starting lineup for the Rangers, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Elvis Andrus at shortstop. Michael Young will be at third. Ian Kinsler batting third, and Vladimir Guerrero the DH. Josh Hamilton hitting fifth. David Murphy is batting in the sixth slot. Justin Smoke batting seventh. Max Ramirez hitting eighth, and Julio Barbone batting ninth. And as you can see, 36 of 51 homers at home, facing James Shields, 5-3.
Well, right at the top, as you see his sprint pitcher profile, strikeout changeup, no doubt about that. One of the best changeups in Major League Baseball. He'll throw a cutter, he'll backdoor that to the lefties. The key for him is command of his fastball to get to the changeup. Now, recently, the teams he's been facing, they're jumping on the first pitch fastball. So this first inning, really take note to see if James will throw some first pitch changeups and not wait till the second or third inning and not let a 2-spot or a 3-spot get on the board for the Rangers.
And Shields is coming off his worst start of the season, giving up 7 runs. That's a season high, and 11 hits, and that matched the season's high. Last 7 batters reached base in his last outing. So with 5 days of rest, here is James Shields facing Elvis Andrus. An impressive young player from Venezuela hitting .303 with 14 runs batted in. And a 10-game hitting streak and 4th in the league in stolen bases with 18.
And I got to believe they'll be jumping on the first good fastball they see. It's a very aggressive Ranger club, just like the Shields saw last week against the White Sox.
And the first pitch, ball 1. And, of course, this is a free swinging team, not the most disciplined swinging team you'll find in baseball. And the Rays are a fastball pitching team. So something's got to give here. Count is 1-1 to the young shortstop.
A lot of the teams, when the Rays will face the Yankees, Derek Jeter won't let Shields get into that changeup count, so he just swings at the first fastball. A lot of the teams have been doing that lately against James.
And the pitch is down low. 2 balls and a strike. And talking to Ron Washington, the manager of the Rangers, he says Elvis Andrus sees everything, and he says one of the most mature players he's seen for age 21. And a line shot up the alley in right center field. Could be extra bases and will be. And retrieving it is B.J. Upton in center field, and in with a stand-up double is Elvis Andrus.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Fastballs and hitters counts. He's got to get that changeup early. It's a fastball right down the middle, just trying to get a strike. I mean, he's trying to paint, but really at 2-1, you don't want to go 3-1, and Andrus shoots it in the gap. But that's exactly, Dick, what I'm talking about. This is what's been happening recently with James. So I think it's a job of John Jaso behind the plate really to recognize that and call some changeups first pitch.
Shields is 2-1 lifetime against the Rangers in 4 starts, 1-1 here. So there's Andrus with 18 stolen bases on at second base, and they want to keep him close. And there's Michael Young hitting a hard one-hopper to Sean Rodriguez. Makes the play to first as Andrus goes to third. Take a look at the Rays defensively. Carl Crawford, B.J. Upton, and Ben Zobrist man the outfield. Evan Longoria, Reed Brignac, Sean Rodriguez, and Carlos Pena in the infield, and John Jaso catching James Shields. Well, here's Ian Kinsler, as Ron Washington knows he's got a young team, including a young pitching staff, and still wary of the Angels. He says they're going to still be the team to beat in the AL West. Runner at third with 1 out, and a big chance in the first inning for Texas in the first pitch, ball 1 inside.
Well, that may be true with Anaheim, but they better get some first base help. They lost their biggest player, really, their best player, in Kenny Morales, in that celebration where he broke his leg.
And there's a line drive off the glove of Longoria. The run will score easily. And safe at first base is Kinsler, and the Rangers lead 1-0. And that looked like that was going to be caught.
Yeah, Longo normally catches that ball. I don't know if he lost it. In the daytime here with the shirts, low line drive like that, you know, coming from home plate, I think he probably lost it. Didn't really see it. He's got the sunglasses on, rightfully so. Yeah, that's a ball normally, Evan, you'll see him catch it. As hard as it was hit, normally he makes that play. And that was on a hanging curveball. But at least I like the sequence, at least throwing a breaking ball to Kinsler in a hitter's count. But you can see now Evans just going to say, you know what, that didn't help. I'm going to take him off.
Well, here's Vladimir Guerrero, and an error charge as the throw goes to first base, and getting back is Kinsler.
It's a tough error. I think that really should have been a hit. So if you've been down the field and you understand Texas, that he lost that ball. That was a bullet hit by Kinsler too.
Vlad Guerrero, coming back last night after missing 2 games, fouls the pitch off. And Guerrero was the victim of a freak batting practice situation where he fouled the ball off the batting cage in Chicago on Wednesday and was hit above the left eye and had swelling and missed a couple of games.
You know, and the next day he's still smiling, as always. He's amazing. Vladdy and his personality. They love him here.
Kinsler with the lead at first, and a big swing, and the ball getting away and into second base. So it's been a sloppy first inning for both sides as Kinsler goes into second base.
Well, the good thing is they're throwing some changeups first couple pitches to Vladdy. The bad news is Jaso, although he got the glove down, he didn't get his knees down to just bury that. He's done a pretty good job. He's done a pretty good job so far this year at blocking balls. He's worked very hard at it. He wasn't sure if that ball was going to stay up. But see, the depth of the changeup, I think it tricked, it fooled John Jaso. You saw him the last instance had to flip the glove over. He thought it was going to stay in the air.
Wild pitch charged to the pitcher as Guerrero just gets a piece, reaching for that pitch outside, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. And this is what sidelined Vladimir Guerrero for a couple of games.
You know, the question is, too, why not wear a batting helmet? That might have hit the top of the helmet had he had a helmet on. I don't like guys taking batting practice myself without at least a hat on, but a helmet for sure. Might have hit the top of his bill and not hit his eye.
No balls, 2 strikes to Vladimir Guerrero, and there's a ground ball, fair ball, gloved nicely in foul territory, and the 1-hop throw in time. So Longoria, who is charged with an error, makes a sparkling play. Kinsler goes to third, and there are 2 down here in the first.
That's a great play by Evan. That's what I was talking about. They're used to seeing plays like that, at least 1 or 2 a game. There's a great play to save a double, pick it, and get enough over there to get the nice long hop for Carlos Pena for the second out. Key right there. Couldn't really get his arm up as he scrambled to get to his feet. He wanted to make sure he got it over there fast enough to get the out.
And Josh Hamilton on the first pitch lifts a fly ball to right field. Looking up and looking back, it's gone. A home run for Josh Hamilton. Josh Hamilton, who was 3 for 4 with a solo home run and 2 doubles last night, delivers. And the Rangers sorely need Josh Hamilton to emerge from his recent doldrums.
Yeah, they really do. This pitch just it gets down in his wheelhouse is all that was. Just like last night, the fastball Wade Davis to him, this location got down and into him.
And David Murphy taking ball 1. So Hamilton with his 11th home run, now with 32 runs batted in. And a 3-0 Texas lead here in the first inning, and a call strike. 1-1.
Well, a couple of first ball hitters in this inning already, and it doesn't mean you always have to hit a fastball first pitch. If it's in your wheelhouse, you're jumping on it. They're ready to hit.
And a roller to Rodriguez, and that'll retire the side. But Hamilton with a 2-run homer, 3 runs overall, 1-0 Texas after 1. Think outside the bun. Buy the new 2011 Mustang, a whole new breed of car. And by Sprint, the Now Network. And here is today's lineup for the Rays, the batting order, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Jaso, Crawford, Longoria, and Zobrist hit in the first inning. Carlos Pena, Hank Blaylock is the DH. Sean Rodriguez batting 7th. Reed Brignac batting 8th. And B.J. Upton hitting 9th for the Rays, who trailed 3-0. And all of those runs were unearned in the first inning. Here's Carlos Pena leading off against Tommy Hunter. And I guess it's bad luck to hit 2 home runs at Yankee Stadium, because since then Pena is 5 for 46, just hitting 109.
Yeah, he's really had a tough time. You got a pretty good pitch to hit there, and the key is really everybody is pitching Carlos away. They're not coming into his swing. You know, you just saw James Shields make a mistake trying to sneak a cutter in to Josh Hamilton, and it came right down into his swing. Not a good pitch selection from my vantage point. And Carlos Pena, the same thing. He's not getting anything into his swing, Dick. Everything's away, changeup's away, and he's got to go that way, and he just hasn't done it very much.
The 0-1 from Hunter and a breaking pitch. 1-1. Pena's career started with the Texas Rangers. He was a 10th overall draft pick in 1998, played 1 year in actually 22 games before being traded to Oakland. He'll be followed by Hank Blaylock and Sean Rodriguez. And a ground ball, fair, gloved by Justin Smoke, who will make the play unassisted for out number 1. Want to see your name on the air? We'll play MLB on Fox. Tune in to win now on foxsports.com/tunein. Make your predictions during today's game between the Rays and Rangers. Hurry, though, because your predictions must be submitted by the end of the 2nd inning. It's coming up fast. Stick around to increase your chances of winning with the 7th inning bonus question. Winners will be announced on the air during the 9th inning. So log on now to foxsports.com/tunein to play now. Well, here's Hank Blaylock, who played 8 years with the Texas Rangers and accepted a minor league offer and was called up. He's the DH today and a familiar face here in Arlington.
Yeah, good fastball hitter, only 29 years old, and when Pat Burrell was released and now with the San Francisco Giants back up in the big leagues, Hank got the call from AAA.
And a breaking pitch. 2 balls and no strikes to Hank Blaylock. He said, I'm familiar with the heat here in Arlington. There is really no place to hide. Shot down the right field line. Fair ball into the corner. David Murphy will retrieve it. And Hank Blaylock on his way to second and slides in. The ball gets away, but no advance. And Blaylock has a 1-out double here in the 2nd, the first hit of the game for Tampa Bay.
He gets a pitch here by Tommy Hunter. Just really pretty much middle in, and he just turns on it, shoots it in the cap in the right field corner there. Murphy played the carom nicely, had a nice strong throw, but a little bit wide of second base, and Hank was thinking 2, of course, all the way.
And that'll bring up Sean Rodriguez, the second baseman. And he was the big hero Tuesday night as the Rays were trailing at one point to the Jays 5-0. And the bases loaded double brought back the Rays to a 7-6 win, and that may be a game you'll remember as the season goes on. Ball 1.
Well, Sean hit a bunch of home runs in spring training, made the ball club, had a great spring, of course, played some second. He's played some center this year. He's played left field. Joe Madden likes the versatility of having Sean on the ball club. He's starting to swing the bat better, but he's striking out on the breaking ball an awful lot.
Fouls it out of play, coming in hitting .245 with a homer and 15 runs batted in.
There are times when you watch Sean, he's kind of almost asleep at the plate. He's so relaxed that he takes that first good fastball and gets behind the count, and then he'll chase the breaking ball. So in this sequence, he's jumping on a pitch early here. That's good news. He's got to start being more aggressive early.
1-1 breaking pitch and a big cut by Rodriguez, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes to Sean Rodriguez, who spent 2 years with the Angels before coming over to the Rays. 23-year-old Tommy Hunter.
You should probably see that curveball again. That was a good pitch by Tommy Hunter.
And there goes the runner, and he's going to be out. So for some reason, Hank Blaylock took off. And an easy out for out number 2, and that erases a prime runner in scoring position situation.
I think he just thought Tommy Hunter wasn't paying attention, but he made it very easy to just step off and throw to third base.
So Blaylock is out caught stealing, and there are 2 down, and they count 1-2 to Rodriguez. Two balls, 2 strikes. So the Rays left a runner in scoring position in the first inning. They had Blaylock at second, and he's out at third. And now the count full to Sean Rodriguez with Reed Brignac on deck.
I think with Hank, he just thought Tommy Hunter was giving him one look and going to the plate. I think he was trying to just time that one look, and as soon as he turned his head, he thought he was going to the plate. He took off. The infield yelled, and Tommy threw him out easily at third.
3-2 fly ball deep to right field. Murphy going back, and it's gone. A home run for Rodriguez, his second of the year, and the Rays now trail 3-1, and it might have been 3-2.
It might have been 3-2. It absolutely should have been 3-2 because there's no really for Hank to go and try to steal third base. But Sean Rodriguez, this is good news because when he starts going the other way, now that was the cutter. I'm not sure why they didn't go back to that curveball because he never did after he got 2 strikes on him. But people fall in love with that cutter today, and when it's flat, it's in the same plane as your bat. And Sean was able to get it up in the air to right field. And we're going to see more than what we've seen already in home runs. We've already seen 2. We're going to see a few more, I think, today.
Here's Brignac, and he takes a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Brignac hitting .294 with 2 homers and 22 runs batted in. Very impressive rookie. Was in 31 games last year. And there's the call, strike 2.
I think the cutter is the most overrated pitch and most fashionable pitch in the game today. There's only one guy that can really throw it consistently, and we know who that is. That's Mariano Rivera.
And the 3-pitch strikeout will do it, but not before Rodriguez hits a home run. And in the middle of the second, the Rangers lead it 3-1. What we do. And the Rangers lead the Rays 3-1, and up to date in the American League East coming in. Tampa Bay 2 games over the Yankees. They're tied with the Toronto Blue Jays 2-2 in the top of the 13th inning in Toronto. And in the bottom third of the batting order for the Rangers, a swinging bunt. Tough play for Longoria and Justin Smoke. How about Justin Smoke-Later? He now has 7 hits in his last 12 at-bats. He was 3 for 3 with a home run last night.
Yeah, this is a swinging bunt, off-speed pitch, I believe, right here. Let's see, a little bit off the end of the bat, of course. You couldn't have laid it down there any better if you'd pushed the bunt that way. And no chance for Evan Longoria.
So Smoke, who was a first-round 11th overall pick in 08 from Goose Creek, South Carolina. You wonder who else is from Goose Creek. Well, Matt Wieters, the promising young catcher from the Orioles, is from Goose Creek. And so Smoke is on base, and here's Max Ramirez, who is 9 for 38 on the year, hitting .237.
Yeah, they're going to jump first pitch. That actually was a fastball also, a little cut fastball.
There goes the runner, and a good jump and a base hit through the open spot as Rodriguez was covering second. And a perfect hit and run executed by the Rangers, who now have runners at first and third with nobody out. You couldn't draw that one up any better.
Well, 2 pitches in its first and third. I mean, this is, like I said, a definite first ball hitting team, and they're taking it to the Rays right now. And just out of position, right? I thought he left a little bit too soon also on that hit and run attempt. If you hold your position for a beat and come in before you go to the bag, come in a step or two and then crash to the bag, you got a chance to make that play. But when you cross over and go right to the bag, you've got no chance.
So James Shields now has his work cut out for him once again after giving up the 3 runs, albeit unearned in the first inning. Smoke is at third and Ramirez at first, and here is Julio Bourbon, 24-year-old outfielder, with an opportunity here to add to the Rangers' lead, and the first pitch outside, ball 1. Ron Washington says with the young players, there's a lot of adjustments to be made, and Bourbon is Exhibit A. He says at first they took the bunt away from him. Instead of slapping the ball past the infielders at the corners, he was still trying to hit that fastball somewhere as he fouls it off, and the count is 1-1.
Yeah, you got a good changeup right there. Exactly right. His batting average is up now. He's up to 253, and originally he was going to be the Rangers leadoff hitter, but he has switched positions with the youngster Elvis Andrus, who's done a great job, as you noted in the first inning. He's done a tremendous job leading off.
And Bourbon is 3 for 4 in his time against James Shields. Runners at first and third, nobody out. And in the American League West, the Rangers at 29 and 25 with a 1-game lead over Oakland, but looming are the Angels, a game and a half out in third.
Yeah, and they're looking for a first base, and names like Paul Konerko, who's a free agent, have come out.
Mike Lowell for sure. 1-2 to Bourbon.
Even Derek Lee, we've heard his name. I mean, you're really not supposed to talk about names if you're the Angels. I think the writers are probably speculating in L.A. and wishing they could get one of those guys.
Wishing and hoping.
You're right. I mean, Kendry Morales was a top 5 in MVP voting last year.
Incredible freak accident after the home run. Talk about bittersweet. There's a fastball, strike 3 on the outside corner, and the first strikeout for Shields. 9 now for today's Ford keys to the game.
Well, there's the backdoor cutter that James will throw. Now, that's an effective pitch on lefties, not the cutter in like you try to throw to Hamilton. For Tampa Bay, neutralize the Rangers offense by doing exactly what we talked about here, changing speeds. You've got to. It's too good of a fastball hitting team. And for Texas, get more innings out of their starting pitcher. Now, Tommy Hunter, I'm sure his first start back will be more on a limit than the rest of the starters. But so far, so good. Their bullpen for the Rangers is very good.
They were overworked early in the year, but they have come back in a big way, and right now they're 4th in the league with a 3.74 earned run average. So Elvis Andrus with the count, no balls and a strike, and he doubled and scored in the first inning for Texas. Fouls it off at the plate, and it's 0-2.
Now, James Shields has the strikeout changeup. See Elvis Andrus numbers with runners on. 375, and how about that bottom number, third in the majors, 459 with runners in scoring position.
And Shields has the best strikeout walk ratio in the league, 15 walks and 74 strikeouts coming into the game.
He's got a great depth on his changeup when it's on like that.
Just low. 1-2.
And what I mean by depth, he got a little bit rotational in his delivery where he was swiveling open too soon and the arm became flat. Well, he's more directional with his left leg, his lead leg, getting the hips going toward his target. And what that does, that creates the fade of the changeup moving away or in to a righty, but also the bottom is falling out. So 2 types of movement for James Shields.
Has the count in his favor, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and a ground ball fielded by Pena. The throw to the plate, not in time, and the run scores as Smoke comes in. So Andrus with a sharp grounder, Pena touching first, but they couldn't get Smoke, and it's now 4-1 in favor of the Rangers.
Well, Carlos knows better. He knows his play right away is to home. See, he hesitated. He looked to the runner at second after he tagged first base. When you tag first base, that's the right move because that's a sure out and you're 1 foot from it. But come up firing to home right away. Because if the runner at second stops and he gets in a rundown, guess what? The runner at third crosses home plate before you get the third out in the rundown. The run scores.
So Ramirez moves to second, a fielder's choice and an RBI for Andrews, his 15th of the year. And here is Michael Young with the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Young bounced to second his first time up, 9th in the American League, hitting .326. He has hit in 18 of his last 19 games and has averaged 200 hits a year in his career. The hitting machine takes a strike.
Oh, he is.
It's 1-1.
You know, once you eliminate the force, when Carlos stepped in the bag, now there's two things he could have done. He could have just taken the ball to second base and then gone back to first. Then if the runner crossed home plate, the run doesn't count. But once you eliminate the force by stepping on the bag, you're in a rundown situation. And Carlos just hesitated, and he knows that, and that's why you saw him with his head down. He should just come up firing home after he touched first base, and would have had the runner at home plate easily had he done that.
Rangers leading 4-1. Still batting here in the bottom of the second inning. Max Ramirez in scoring position. And now it's a ball and 2 strikes to Young. Texas Rangers, who were about a 500 team in the month of April, 11-12. And then in the first 3 weeks of May, won 14 out of 20 games. And then they fell down, lost 6 out of 7 prior to taking the series against the White Sox. And strike 3, that'll do it as Young goes down on strikes. But a run coming in for the Rangers. They lead at 4-1, and Nolan Ryan will be our guest here in the booth when we return. Texas up 4-1. PJ Upton leading up for the Rays in the bottom of the top of the third inning. And the first pitch is a strike, and we welcome Nolan Ryan. And I could see with a 4-1 lead, didn't want to change his luck by changing seats. But Nolan, thanks for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
You know, and Upton's lines one and caught by Michael Young for out number 1. Well, number 1, we're here because, you know, we know the All-Star game is going to be July 13th in Anaheim, and you pitched in 8 All-Star games, and you pitched in that last game in Anaheim and with the winning pitcher for the Rangers.
Well, it was very special because it was the first time I'd come back to Anaheim and had the opportunity to pitch there since leaving there as a free agent.
It's a special moment to be an All-Star, and I'm sure you remember your first.
Well, it really is, because first of all, you get an opportunity to play with the guys that you are always trying to play against and get out. And so it's special to be representing your league and facing the other league and obviously some of the best players in the game.
And you're sitting next to a guy who managed you in your last year.
Goodness.
My last year, but I didn't help him much because I stayed on the disabled list more than I stayed on the active list that year.
Are you saying that's why I'm doing this now? No, it wasn't because of you.
Jay, so grounds out to Ian Kinsler for the second out here. And, it's an exciting moment, I guess. And do you get hardened to the fact that you're in so many of them after a while, Nolan?
No, you don't. You look forward to each and every one of them, and it's the All-Star games are special, and it's just the fanfare around it. And as you see now, the players truly, really get into it and all the activities that they have.
Well, with all the no-hitters that you had, Nolan, and the perfect games that are and one wasn't, apparently.
Right.
What are your thoughts on what's going on with the pitching today in this game?
I don't really have an explanation for it because, we've seen these unbelievable games thrown already this year and 3 perfect games. Who's ever heard of that? But we look at our pitching staff and we don't feel like that we're pitching as well this year as we did last year. So,
yep.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
And, of course, pitching is an important aspect of this as Crawford hits a sharp ground ball and Andrews handles. And, Nolan, a quick 1-2-3 inning. Would ask you if you stay with us.
Sure, be glad to.
Okay. 4-1 in favor of the Rangers. And we're back here at the Rangers ballpark in Arlington, where the Rangers are batting in the 3rd inning, leading the Tampa Bay Rays 4-1. Pleased to have the president of the Texas Rangers, Nolan Ryan, the great right-hander, distinguished Hall of Fame career. Ian Kinsler leading off against James Shields, bluffs a bunt and takes ball 1. Got to ask you about the Armando Galarraga situation, which of course everyone's been talking about this week.
Well, people ask, well, should we go to replay? And I don't think we should. I think we have, in this game, the human element plays a big part of it. It's just unfortunate that came up in such a key game. And, you know, I look back on my career, and there were calls that went against me and calls that went in my favor, and that's just part of the game. And, you know, you really truly believe the umpires are trying to do their best out there. And so I just feel like that it's unfortunate for him that call was made at such a critical time in a game that would have been so meaningful to him.
And, you know, the human element is so much important in all of sports because players make errors, managers make bad moves and so forth. And, you know, when you go to talk about replay, and, of course, the discussion go on, and we won't go through it all here, but where do you bring it to an end? When does it stop?
Well, I agree. And I just think that if you don't keep some kind of parameters on it, then all of a sudden it's going to take over your game, and that's not what the fans want to see, and that's not what the players want to see.
What was the angriest you ever were when you pitched?
Oh, no, I don't.
Playing for me, probably.
No, you know, it's. I think the thing that bothered me as a pitcher the most is the umpires establish a strike zone, and then you get into a key situation, and you make that pitch, and you don't get it, and it's so critical at that particular time that it just irritates you to no end. And
consistency is what you
right, and that's what you strive for, and you hope for with the umpires too. As a pitcher, you strive for consistency, and you hope the umpire's consistent with the strike zone, whatever that might be.
Vladimir Guerrero with a big cut. What a pickup he was for you, huh?
Oh, I tell you what, you know, obviously everybody was concerned about his health, and he has been such a uplift to our ball club, not only with what he's done offensively, but just his presence on the ball club.
It's like the old adage, knowing if he's going to hit 400 in our ballpark, we better sign him or trade for him.
I agree. Let it be our 400, not against us.
You guys did, and that's what he's doing. I mean, talk about the All-Star game. I got to believe Vladdy's at the top of the list.
I got to believe so, too.
He's the leading vote getter for DHs for the All-Star game, and a one-hopper, Brignac to Rodriguez, and a double play, 6-4-3, and there are two down and nobody on base. And, of course, as president, we know what's the latest status as far as the ownership of the ball club?
Well, it's in the hands of the court. Obviously, we don't know how the judge is going to rule on it. We think by the July we'll know something, and so we're keeping very optimistic attitude about it.
One thing I want to say, and we've talked before about this, when you came here, you have changed the mindset of the pitching staff, and I love that. You know, when we were together, it was pretty much offensive oriented. Did have some good pitching, but kind of touch on that a little bit, your philosophies.
Well, what I felt like after the first year I spent here as a president, I just wanted to observe and get a feel for our organization and what I felt like we needed to do to be more competitive, and I just felt like that we needed to be a balanced organization, that we could not just outslug people and win ball games that way and win a division. And so I felt like that we had to have not only good defense, we had to have good pitching with an offensive ball club. And so I felt like to change the mindset of our pitchers, we had to convince them that they could throw more pitches and stay longer in the game, and that you could pitch in this ballpark and be successful.
So if we say pitch count to you, you don't want to hear anything about that, right? Nolan Ryan, thanks for being with us. It's been an honor to have you.
Well, my pleasure, and it's an honor to have y'all in the ballpark today.
3 innings gone by. Roundup Pump and Go sprayer. Hard on weeds, easy on you. By Mobil 1, the world's leading synthetic motor oil brand. And by Ink, the new business card from Chase. Make your mark with Ink. And it's 4-1 on a day in which the temperatures around 100 degrees. The record high in Arlington back in 1948 is 102 degrees. And the first pitch to Evan Longoria is ball one from Tommy Hunter. Longoria struck out his first time up, and Crawford was running on the pitch and got to second and eventually was stranded there. 2-0 the count to Longoria.
Yeah, the Rays are still trying to figure out their lineup. And touching on that, you know, they've had Bartlett leading off. Bartlett got hurt. Bartlett wasn't swinging like he did last year, so they tried BJ at the top. They tried Jaso at the top, Ben Zobrist, but they really haven't had a set lineup. And I think that's part of the issue. They're still trying to find themselves.
There's a call strike. So it's 3-1 to Longoria with Ben Zobrist on deck and Carlos Pena to follow.
And the big key is the guy you just mentioned. That's Carlos Pena. He's got to hit in the middle of the lineup for the Rays to win.
Pop up, Justin Smoke near the dugout and cannot get it. They expected very warm temperatures, and that's the field temperature right now, which is just shy of 110 degrees. And in talking with Joe Madden, he said, well, you know, I managed an instructional league team in Arizona where it was 105 degrees, and we played at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That was October. And there's a shot hit to right field. David Murphy coming on over. Tough play, and it's off the base of the wall. And moving into second base is Longoria with the leadoff double. So after a play in which Smoke looked like he had a chance to make the catch, Longoria gets the double.
Yeah, 3-2 pitch down and away and off the outside corner. Real nice piece of hitting by Evan. And the ball, when you get it up in the air here, it's going to carry in the daytime in this temperature, and it carries over the head of David Murphy, and he gets it back in quickly.
So it was Smoke who had a shot at making that catch.
Sure did.
And it was Murphy who couldn't come up with that play in right field. And here's Ben Zobrist.
Well, you and I were talking before the game about the wind. This ballpark's enclosed all the way around with the height and the wind. When it gets up high like that, it swirls. I think that's where Smoke had trouble with that pop-up.
Zobrist was out pitcher to first his first time up.
Now you may ask, is this a get-him-over situation? It is early, but for a base hit. You don't want to just give yourself up when you're a 300 hitter with some power. You want to drive it to right field.
And the fastball missing, and
you can't give up outs in the American League. I'm telling you, Dick. You just can't do it.
And during our break, Nolan Ryan was talking about Zobrist and how he developed.
He had when Nolan was with Houston as an advisor there, of course. He said, I never would have believed he would come out and be the player he's become, and that's not a knock. It was really a compliment that Nolan was giving Ben Zobrist. You know, you evaluate the best you can, and they traded him to Tampa Bay, and you know, Ben's first stint in the big leagues, he hit under 200, but then 2 years ago started showing some power and worked hard in the swing.
2-1 pitch and a ground ball backhanded by Kinsler. The runner will go to third as Zobrist is retired for out number one, and a runner at third base. And caught up with Ron Washington, the Rangers manager, and said you got to be a little pleased with the way Smoke and Bourbon are starting to develop.
Well, I'm very pleased. You know, they're starting to get comfortable, and the ability that they have is starting to come to the forefront. And we just got to stay on top of them. I'm very pleased.
Ron, we just had Nolan Ryan up here talking about pitching and more responsibility. And, you know, you and I have talked about this before. So let's go right to Tommy Hunter. And how long can he go today, and what do you like so far?
Well, he can go as long as he's effective out there. You know, he doesn't have a limit on what he can do or what he can't do. Once again, you know, you put those pitchers out there and you just want them to go as long as they can, and that's what Tommy is going to do for us today.
Hey, Ron, thanks very much, and good luck to you.
Well, thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ron Washington in his fourth year and played for 5 teams in his 10-year career. Of course, my partner here, Kevin Kennedy, managed the Rangers for 2 years in '93 and '94. one of his several stops is Carlos Pena. You mentioned Pena. He's one of the guys that really has to get going, if not the guy.
Well, and right here, he's been striking out. He's leading the American League in strikeouts. He's got to make contact in these situations. He doesn't have to think long ball. And Carlos is one of the best people you're ever going to meet, and how much pride and passion, how much he cares. He doesn't seem to get down ever, but he knows what he's got to do. He's not worried about the shift right now. It's about contact, because the Rangers are giving you a run.
0-2 pitch outside, and Pena holds off.
Now, Derek Shelton is the new hitting coach this year, and Derek Shelton worked very, very hard with everybody, but Reed Brainiac really is coming into his own as a hitter. Carlos, he really worked hard on situational hitting, just like this, not to get the ball in the air, just to hit it on the ground somewhere if you have to.
Longoria's at third with one out, and an opportunity for Pena with a fly ball or a ground ball, and of course with the shift, Kinsler is playing very deep, at least 5 or 6 steps on the outfield grass, so anything on the ground should get Longoria home.
Tommy Hunter's shown a pretty good overhand curveball today, and he had Carlos early in the count on that. Let's see if he goes back to it here too. He is throwing a lot of cutters today as well. He likes that pitch.
He's allowed 3 hits, all of the extra base variety as Hunter, and a swing and a miss, and the ball takes a big bounce back, and Longoria is caught in a rundown and is tagged out by Tommy Hunter. And it was one of those things, a double play, but on at first base is Pena, because the ball got away from the catcher. It's a strikeout, but he's on at first base, but because the ball ricocheted so hard off of the backstop, Longoria was out.
Well, you won't see that happen but one time out of 100 come off the backstop like that, because there's padding back there. Take a look at this pitch, up and out of the zone, chasing it off the tip of the glove. Look at this, off the concrete right there. That ball was so wide to the left of Carlos Pena that it hit the concrete and bounced right back to Evan, and Evan is caught in a rundown right here. You'll see. Look at this, Ramirez. I mean, Karam's right back to him. Evan's out by 30 feet, and now he gets in the rundown. And of course, Carlos Pena is allowed to take first base because there was no runner at first base.
And it's a pass ball, and here is Hank Blaylock. So the Rays lose a golden opportunity to narrow the gap. And a call strike to Blaylock, who doubled and then was caught stealing. 1-1 to Blaylock. There you see that hard backstop. Popped up to the left side against the sun. Michael Young in fair territory makes the catch. Leadoff double, but the Rays don't score, and it's still 4-1 Texans. Braves ballpark in Arlington. James Shields, 5-3 on the year, making his 12th start of the season. And will be facing David Murphy, Justin Smoke, and Max Ramirez here in the last of the 4th inning, with the Rangers leading 4-1. They've out-hit the Rays 4-3. And the first pitch down low, ball 1. Murphy bounced to Rodriguez at second, his first time up. Foul ball lined into the crowd.
Got to be careful with everybody in this lineup. As soon as that ball's in the air, especially today in this ballpark, it's jumping to right for sure.
Well, you were talking about Tommy Hunter and, of course, how long he would pitch, but of James Shields, since his debut in May of '06, has the 2nd most innings pitched in the American League. A true workhorse.
Yeah, he really does. He's a 215-plus inning guy every single year.
And it's popped up into short right field. Sean Rodriguez has a play, and that'll be out number 1. And a few moments ago, we had a discussion with Joe Madden of the Rays. Well, Joe, you never know about baseball. This is a crazy game thus far.
We've made quite a few mistakes already. Hopefully we'll play better in the second half.
Talk about your offense, and you say it's you haven't really identified what your attack is going to be like.
Well, we had a set lineup more or less in the beginning of the season. Through injuries and new guys being added, it's kind of in a state of flux right now. We tried a bunch of different things. I really feel, once Carlos gets back to normal, BJ gets back to normal, all of a sudden, and then Jason Bartlett gets back, it'll give us a more familiar look. But for right now, I'm just trying to do a bunch of different things.
Joe, one of the things about this ball club is resiliency. I talked about that in the open. Even though you're down right now, you've come back 8th, 9th inning so many times this year. What is it about this ball club why they're able to do that?
Well, we play 9 innings hard. That's the one we talked about, 9 = 8 several years ago. We play 9 innings hard every night. Anything can happen. And furthermore, you and I both manage in the Texas League. You know what these games could be like down here back in Midland here in San Antonio. So we'll look forward to the second half of this ball game. Hopefully be able to catch up and kick the last field goal.
And Joe, of course, managing in the All-Star game, what it's like. It's not bad to have home field advantage, and that's what's at stake in the All-Star game.
Absolutely. That was a tremendous experience last year. I had an absolute wonderful time. The coaching staff did too. And as you stated, we won that game, and that's a great thing for the American League.
Thanks very much.
All right, guys.
And that'll be on Fox. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, Tuesday, July 13th from Anaheim Stadium. And a great stab by Rodriguez to rob Smoke of a base hit. So we have had 2 outstanding plays by the Rays infield, and there are 2 down here in the 4th.
Well, that's the other thing that the Rays have done well. They've got a very good defensive ball club. And Sean really, defensively, wherever Joe Madden has put him, has done a nice job. That was a great leaping catch right there on a bullet off the bat of Justin Smoke, but he can play and he can turn too. He's got a good arm. He's a valuable guy, even though he's been striking out a lot. He's starting to come out of it, and we know he hit that home run today to right field.
Max Ramirez, single to center field, takes a call strike. And Rodriguez yet to make an error this year. And of course, you can't always really judge fielders on the errors they make because they get to a lot of balls.
Yeah, and I see him every day when he plays, of course, and he's outstanding. Bartlett, when he's out there, is outstanding. Reed Brainiac at short, he can play second or short equally well. Longoria is a Gold Glover. Pena is a Gold Glover. Crawford should have been a Gold Glover last year, and Upton can out and out go get him.
And off the end of the bat, Rodriguez this time cannot handle it. And it's off of his glove, and Max Ramirez is on base with 2 down here in the 4th inning. And right now, time for a game break. Let's check in with Chris Rose, who's lurking somewhere.
That's right, Dick. It's a DirecTV game break. Let's take you out to St. Louis. First batter of the game, it's Ricky Weeks, his 16th career leadoff homer. That off of Adam Ottavino, 1-0 Brewers. But Albert Pujols, his 4th homer of the week, 11 RBIs as well. Cards lead the Brew Crew 4-1 in the 4th. Remember, you can see every baseball game in HD. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Dick, back up to you from the surface of the sun.
And I hope you're in the sun. That's your job, is to be in the sun and bake. And it's amazing, Chris. Before the the pregame show, you promoted Pujols, and he delivered for you today.
He did. He finally brought it. That guy was in an awfully big slump, wasn't he? I mean, come on, the guy's.
I thought he was. Wow, 320, 310. He was in a slump.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Second best average in the NL
Chris,
coming into today.
You got a 210 tan going on.
Yeah, Chris, get out of that shade, please.
Hey, I'm out of here.
One ball, one strike
shade
with 2 out.
Shade. I do have my thermometer down here. There you go. Hand me that thermometer. Thank you. I'll just put it on my forehead. It'll warm up a few degrees.
Boy, it did, but
approaching 120. I'd like to thank the executives who did not make me wear a suit during the pregame.
Well, nice. You look like we do.
Yeah, see, that's the power of Stockton and Kennedy.
It's all unity up here, you know.
That away, guys. How's the air conditioning taste?
Oh, great.
Wonderful.
2 balls and a strike with 2 down, and Max Ramirez, who reached on an error, and there's a base hit to right field. Zobrist will retrieve, and going to third base is Ramirez, and he'll be in there. And the Rangers now with runners at the corners. And all with 2 out here in the 4th inning as the Rays committing their second error of the game to the disbelief of Joe Madden.
Yeah, we just gave Sean Rodriguez some love, and he goes ahead and boots one, his first one of the year. And he can't open the door against the Rangers because now the lineup turns over. And you got Elvis Andrus, who's already doubled in this game and driven in another. Stepping to the plate.
So Bourbon gets a base hit, and the bottom third of the order. Last night they were 7 for 10, and they have 3 hits already in this game for the Rangers. Here's Elvis Andrus with runners at first and third, 2 down, as the Rangers trying to add to their 3-run lead. James Shields has allowed a base runner in every inning. He walked the leadoff hitter Kinsler in the 3rd inning, but was helped by the double play hit into by Guerrero.
Yeah, don't be surprised if Bourbon goes early in this sequence right here.
1-0 the count to Andrus.
Because Andrus, like every other Ranger, is a good fastball hitter, and Shields really is going to need to throw some off-speed pitches here, some changeups. So that's a good pitch to run on. And in this count right here, behind the count, this is a good time for James to throw that changeup.
Bourbon, 8 stolen bases, has been caught 4 times, held on by Payne. Doesn't go, and it's ball 2, 2-0. And if he keeps it going, Michael Young would be the on-deck hitter. The Rays lead the American League, in fact the major leagues, with 59 stolen bases, and the Rangers are in the 5th spot.
Well, you don't want to see Michael Young coming up in this inning, so you got to make a pitch here if you're James Shields. Good changeup count for him again.
In there for the strike, 2-1.
Good off speed right there. Smart call. You really better concentrate on Elvis Andrus. Bourbon may take second, but so be it. You better make a pitch right here because this guy's dangerous. He's a 300 hitter. Gets the ball all over the ballpark.
And a big swing and a miss. Good pitch.
That's that depth of the changeup right there. It looks like a curveball. It's a changeup. That's one of his better ones today. Take a look at this pitch. That's the depth I was talking about earlier. The bottom falls out, and you see that tailing action going into the right-handed hitter's back foot. That's why he's been getting all those strikeouts this year.
Starts out in the middle of the plate going inside, and then dies.
And dies, yeah. And that's when because he's got more directional with his lead leg, and it's gotten his arm slot up in a better position.
First and third, 2 out. There goes Bourbon, and a ground ball hit to shortstop Brignac, and he makes the play to retire the side. And we have completed 4 here in Arlington, and the Rangers lead the Rays 4-1. A question. What pitcher allowed the 630th and final home run of Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League career? Tommy Hunter will face Hank Blaylock, Sean Rodriguez, and Reed Brignac here in the 5th inning. And the first pitch is taken ball 1. Blaylock a double to right field. And the Rays have had a couple of big opportunities. Blaylock was caught stealing as he was caught off second base, and a fly ball to center field, and Bourbon camps under it, and that'll be out number 1.
There's James Shields with good rhythm, getting better depth on his changeup. Couple two-seamers down and in first, but then he's going to throw a cutter right there for a strike, and now he goes to the strikeout changeup. Look at the depth and the fade on that one, and then the put-away pitch right here. The tapper to short. Nice play, by the way, by Brignac, because Andrews can run. But that's those last two changeups. That's why he's been so successful this year. Better changeup than what I saw last year, and he had a great one last year.
Here's Sean Rodriguez. And the first pitch is strike 1. Or Brignac, that is. Reed Brignac with 1 out. Excuse me. And struck out his first time up. And the count 0-1. Native of Louisiana. St. Amant, 30 miles west of New Orleans. And it's fouled off.
He has really developed into a pretty good hitter. Last year he got a little cup of coffee with the Rays, had a big uppercut. Still will do it occasionally, but Derek Shelton, the hitting coach of the Rays, really worked on leveling his swing out, and he's been hitting around 300 all year and driving in runs.
Brignac lifts a foul ball off to the left out of play. And a souvenir and a high five and a fist bump. All in one.
No drop of beverage either. I didn't even see a beverage down there. It's hot.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and a ground ball. Fair ball, gloved by Young, has no play. And Brignac, who cued that ball to third base, and a base hit for Brignac with 1 away. And Chris Rose with an update of the Yankee game.
Right, DirecTV game break. Jeter, 6th homer of the year, a 2-run shot, 1,101st RBI, passing Donnie Baseball for 9th most in team history. Tied at 2, bottom of 14. Aaron Hill's 4th career walk-off. Jays win it 3-2. The Yanks now trail the Rays by 2.5 in the AL East. Remember to watch every baseball game in HD. It's 1-800-DIRECTV. Guys, back on up to you.
All right, Chris. B.J. Upton, the batter, with Brignac on at first base. And a 4-1 game, in which there have been 3 errors committed. There's been a pass ball and a lot of mistakes made on the field, both on the base paths and in the field. And the first pitch to B.J. Upton, ball 1. Upton lined out to Michael Young his first time up.
Here's the other guy in the Rays lineup that they really need to step up and have a year like he had 2 years ago. Not suffering from the arm injury anymore, the left arm. He's fine with that. He's just been pulling off too many balls also. So there's really 3 key guys that need to do better, and that's Pena, Upton, and Jason Bartlett when he gets back. I think Jason will. But those 3 guys are really key in this Rays lineup. About Toronto, where they can swing the bat for power.
There's the 1-1 pitch, called strike 2 to Upton. And Tommy Hunter now working in his 5th inning. 9-6 last year in 19 starts, and had 8 of his 9 victories after the All-Star break. Brignac with the lead in the throw to first base. Hunter grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana, and at the age of 12, he was already a 2-time Junior Olympic judo champion.
I saw that, yeah. He's a grinder. He's got good stuff. He's not a blazer with the fastball, but he's shown a pretty good overhand curve. I know he likes that cutter, but he's had a pretty good curveball he can get some outs with.
rangy right-hander at 6'3", 280 pounds. And his grandmother, by the way, brought him a membership to the training center that allowed him to follow that dream as a judo champion. 2-2 to Upton with one out and Brignac on at first.
Brignac's not a burner. He'll run occasionally depending on the situation, but he's not a guy you have to worry about normally, just flat out straight steal.
Ground ball to shortstop, and Andrews gets the force, and that's all. So Brignac is erased, and B.J. Upton is on now. And once again, our Mercedes-Benz trivia question: who allowed Ken Griffey Jr.'s final home run? And the answer, and I kind of hinting,
I had a feeling.
Tommy Hunter, October the 3rd. That was the next to last game of last season, leading off the 4th inning. And that was Hunter's last start prior to this game.
How about that? Junior is done.
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
And it was a curveball over for a strike.
I got to tell you, I was with the ball club in Seattle, did the 3 games up there, saw the Mariners come to the St. Pete a couple of weeks ago, and you just sensed that it was going to happen sooner rather than later. You know, you had Sleepgate and all that story about that, which people in that clubhouse deny that ever happened, that Junior fell asleep during the game. But you just sense, and really I think it was more, Dick, about the swing. The swing, he wasn't catching up with the fastball anymore. He just wasn't. And I got to believe that has to be the main reason why he decided to retire now.
And really made what that franchise is, really.
He did.
When they needed it, Ken Griffey Jr. was there. So B.J. Upton with 15 stolen bases has the lead. John Jaso at the plate, 0 for 2, reached on an error. And there is the 630th home run at Seattle.
That was his patented swing, wasn't it? That sweet swing, smooth, explosive power.
There goes the runner. Pitch taken for a strike. It goes into center field, and Upton will take off and go to third base. And a stolen base for Upton, and an error charge to Max Ramirez.
Yeah, Max kind of stood straight up instead of getting through the ball with his lower half of his body, and that caution. When you stand straight up, you short stride yourself, and when you short stride yourself with the lead leg, you end up short hopping your second baseman or shortstop with the throw. That's exactly what happened there. And that was a good pitch. Watch it right here. You're going to stand straight up, short stride with the lead leg right there, instead of getting through it.
You would know you were a catcher as Ramirez commits his second error of the game.
Yeah, and the reason is because BJ got a good jump, and you rush yourself, but you still have to do your mechanics with the lower half of your body. If you don't get your legs in good position and plant that front leg and get over it like a pitcher and finish where your upper half is almost flat, parallel to the ground, you won't get through the ball, and the ball will skip into center field.
1 ball and 2 strikes now to Jaso, and Upton now with 16 stolen bases on the year, came in 9th in the American League, caught just 4 times. And once again, the Rays have a runner in scoring position. And the pitch is outside. Longoria was on at third base in the 4th inning, and there was a 2-strike pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, but a pass ball, and the ball bounced off of the backstop all the way back, and Longoria was out on a rundown. So all things happening against the Rays today when they've had chances. And a slow hit bounding ball to Kinsler, and that'll do it. And that ends the Rays' 5th inning, and it's still a 4-1 Rangers lead. cars, trucks, and crossovers. Well, nationwide, thousands of communities have gotten involved as Chevy and Scotts have set out to rebuild local ballparks. Don't miss your chance to get involved and to win a new Chevy at ChevyBaseball.com. Rangers lead 4-1, and James Shields has allowed 4 runs, only one of which is earned. And Michael Young leading off 0 for 2. And the first pitch is strike 1 to him.
He's breaking out that overhand curveball. We haven't seen too many of those. I like his curveball.
1-1.
He's back with a cutter.
Good pitch by Shields there.
Yeah, this is really, James is starting to get in a pretty good rhythm. He's starting to look like the Shields we've seen all season. And now he's in that strikeout changeup count if he wants to go there.
He's 28. You said a gray beard. I'm looking for the gray hair on his beard.
They teased him in spring training. There it is.
Strike 3, and Young goes down for the second straight time.
Yeah, foul tip.
He stays alive.
Yeah, foul tip, and it hit the dirt. Scott Berry, the home plate umpire, called it immediately. I believe he got that right also. Here's that strikeout changeup we're talking about.
In the dirt and fielded on the short hop by Jaso.
Yeah. A little piece of it.
So he stays alive at 1-2. Does Michael Young, followed by Kinsler and Guerrero. And that's down low. So it's 2-2.
He went back inside with the cutter right there. I mean, you can be looking for that changeup and you'll still strike out.
And a full count. So Shields in danger of losing the leadoff hitter here in the 5th inning. Rangers have had men on base in every inning as Kinsler waits. Slap to shortstop. Good backhanded play by Brignac, and there's one away. And here's today's Verizon game summary. Josh Hamilton with a 2-run homer, his second homer in as many games. And Sean Rodriguez with a solo drive. We've had 4 errors in the game, 2 by each side, and some mistakes on the base paths as well.
Yeah, a little sloppy early. It's starting to get into a rhythm now, at least James Shields is.
Here's Ian Kinsler. And despite his struggles, still installed in the 3rd slot. He was 4 for 34 on the recent road trip for the Rangers. Foul ball down the left field line.
Well, last year Ian led off, and you know he's a guy that hits you 30 home runs. He can steal you 30 bases too, and it looked like he was trying to do that every time last year. Now Ron Washington has asked him to accept more responsibility because he can be a big-time run producer for this ball club. They've also got Nelson Cruz on the DL. I mean, you look at the first 6 guys in this lineup. When Nelson's in there, they can hit with anybody.
4th in the league in hitting, 6th in home runs, and 3rd in stolen bases in the league. Rays, of course, lead all of the major leagues in stolen bases. The 1-1 from Shields. 2 balls and a strike. This is the first time that these teams have played, and before Friday, the Rays were the only team that Texas had not faced this year.
That's right. Yeah, this is and tough in this ballpark.
Longoria behind 3rd, 2 down.
The Rays came in here twice last year. They only come in to Texas once this year in the American League, and they lost 5 in a row before they finally won a late inning, 9th inning heroic comeback win. So they were 1-5 last year here.
Well, a reminder, visit your local Lowe's to cast your Scotts MLB All-Star ballot and enter for a chance to win a VIP All-Star Week experience. Compliments of Scotts. Well, here's Vladimir Guerrero, who was robbed of a base hit by a great play by Longoria in the 1st inning, bounced into a double play, so he's 0 for 2. And Guerrero leading just about every DH in the major categories at the plate, and hits a drive deep to right field. Zobrist going back over his head and off the Vladimir vote sign. And Guerrero will go into second with a double. So there's a vote by Vladimir Guerrero himself for the DH of the All-Star game.
Well, there isn't a pitch he can't reach. And I thought at first that ball might have enough just to get out. He is so strong. Watch him reach this. Great extension. Outside corner with that pitch. Hits the D and the Vladdy right there.
Does that count as a vote?
I think so. Why not?
And that is the 6th hit of the game for Texas. Comes with 2 out and brings up Josh Hamilton.
Now, here's a guy you got to watch for. You know, first ball hitter. Did it last night to Wade Davis home run. First ball in the first at bat in the first inning home run here. So be careful with this guy.
2 down and waves at that pitch and misses for a strike on the straight chain.
There you go. That's smart right there. You got to. See, that's why I say with James, I think he's going to have to start doing that in the first inning against some of these aggressive fastball hitting clubs.
Hamilton with a 2-run homer, his 11th of the year in the first inning, and another off-speed pitch, and the bat goes flying into the 8th row.
Well, that's how good that changeup is. And when you got a guy like Josh who has tremendous power and he's a good fastball, low fastball hitter especially, you look at his splits, he's got 50 strikeouts. Well, that tells you he does a lot of that too on off-speed stuff. Swing and missing.
2 strikes with 2 out. Guerrero takes off and strike 3, and that will do it. So a double, and Guerrero is left. And after 5, 4-1, Texas. By Chevrolet and our award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. Rangers lead the Rays 4-1. They won last night 9-6. As the fans try to keep as cool as they can, but enjoying the Texas lead as Crawford, Longoria, and Zobrist to face Tommy Hunter here in the 6th inning. Crawford is 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice and bounced to shortstop. And the pitch is over for a strike. Crawford is the 3rd leading outfielder amongst the All-Star voters, behind Ichiro and Nelson Cruz, who's currently on the disabled list. Count is 1-1 to him.
Yeah, he really makes the Rays go. Carl Crawford is having another All-Star season. Of course, the MVP of the All-Star game a year ago in St. Louis with that great catch.
And a fly ball to right field. David Murphy coming over, long run, and he makes the catch. And Crawford is retired for the first out. That'll bring up Evan Longoria, and time now for a special edition of our Toyota in-game box score. Well, here's the Indians' final box from Wednesday night's game in Detroit. That was Armando Galarrago's near perfect game. Jason Donald, and we put it in quotes, the single, I guess.
Yeah, was it really a single?
Well, you know, but and you know, everyone wants to, you know, under the guise of let's look at it again and get it right, and I really agree with Bud Selig's decision not to enter and change anything with what happened on the field. You just can't do it.
Well, my initial reaction was that Bud wouldn't change it, and then as I was talking about this the other day on our radio show, I was thinking, you know, maybe he will. Maybe he will change it. And I only say that because Jim Joyce was so adamant that he missed it, and you don't see that. And it was unique because it was the 27th out, and it didn't change the outcome of the game. If they'd come back and scored a couple of runs, then you can't change it. But I thought maybe he could, but you know what? He's a traditionalist at heart.
Longoria fouls it off, and it's 2-2. Chris Rose.
Yeah, guys, I actually spent some time in the umpire's locker room before the game, and I brought up the name Jim Joyce, and they all kind of sighed because they've all been in his position, not with a perfect game on the line and 2 outs there in the ninth, but they've all been there emotionally. And I said, well, what about the expanded use of instant replay like Commissioner Bud Selig is going to look into? And they kind of shrugged their shoulders and they said, yeah, whatever the league does, we'll go along with it. But I talked to first base umpire Chris Guccione about the emotional toll that a missed call can take. And he says, listen, I have had a ton of sleepless nights out there where I've screwed something up. I've cost somebody a run or maybe a well-pitched game. It stays with you. And I think that's the most important thing, guys, is that we're learning that it just doesn't roll off their backs.
No, I don't think it would. And the pressure, you know, it's so easy to criticize, but when you have the pressure of making without the benefit of seeing it over and over again, and you wonder whether you're going to sterilize all of sports by having too much replay. You know, the fact is that it's a bang play half the time.
Well, and I wasn't surprised that Jim Joyce looked at the replay and apologized to to Galarraga. That was just you know, a stand-up guy, and I've known Jim from minor league days. My gosh, we were in a PCL together many years ago, and he's always been that type of umpire. And you heard Jim Leland, and a lot of the guys say what a great umpire he is. That's a fact.
And Kinsler can't make the play, and Zobrist has his first hit of the game on an infield hit with 2 outs. Have you seen it enough? Well, let's see it again.
Yeah, here it is right here. Now Cabrera goes and gets the ball, fires a strike over there. Galarraga looking for the bag and getting the ball at the same time. And on live action, well, there's the replay. You see that he indeed was out. I thought initially, Dick, that maybe Jim Joyce saw ball movement in the glove.
What about the positioning of Jim Joyce? A lot of people think maybe you should be over where the ball is hit so you see that angle instead of straddling the line.
I saw the high home shot, you know, on a couple of replays, and I thought he was in position to see it. He just said the ball, he thought McDonald beat the play. That was his reaction. Now, if he thought there was a bobble and maybe didn't have a good angle on that, that's one thing. But he said he thought the guy beat the play.
And a big swing, and Carlos Pena is tagged out by the pitcher to retire the side. Another hit, and the Rays still stuck at 1, trailing 4-1. the first. A run scoring on an error by Evan Longoria, and then a 2-run homer by Josh Hamilton. Rays getting a run on Rodriguez's second home run of the year in the second. And then a run scoring on a ground out by Andrews in the second inning, and that's where we are. We have not had any scoring since the second inning. And the count is 1-1 to David Murphy.
Yeah, you got to be pleased if you're Ron Washington with Tommy Hunter's performance so far.
A line drive, base hit to right field, and a leadoff single for David Murphy, now 1 for 3.
James Shields has been throwing some really good changeup. He elects to go with a fastball here. And David Murphy was all over it.
So the Rangers have had the leadoff runner on in 4 of the first 6 innings, and here's Justin Smoke, who was safe on an infield hit and scored that run in the second inning, and then lined out Sean Rodriguez with a sensational stretching play going to his left. Throw to first base. Murphy not a base stealing threat, but the lead is 4-1.
Big time power for Justin Smoke, and he's starting to swing the bat now. You know, they sent Chris Davis down to get Smoke up here in the big leagues. And he gets going. I mean, the depth of this lineup is tremendous already for the Rangers, but this guy's got big time 30+ home run power.
Shields spending a lot of time watching Murphy over at first. 1-0 the count to Smoke. Justin Smoke 1 for 2. Has 7 hits in his last 13 times up, and has really raised his average 200 points.
Yeah, he's getting acclimated to the big leagues. That's for sure. It's a comfort level he's starting to get. Confidence.
On the corner for the strike, 1-1. James Shields has allowed 4 runs, only 1 earned.
Stevie Martinez giving the signs to John Jasa, whether to throw over, step off, or pitch out. He's not calling pitches. He's calling the 3 things I just mentioned.
In the dirt, runner was off, and Murphy's going to get into second base.
Good secondary lead by David Murphy. John Jasa gets over there, and not a bad job getting over. Right knee down first on the ball to your right. That's the right way to do it. It's just it was a better secondary lead by Murphy, and he took off and the ball hit the dirt. So not a whole lot more that John Jasa could have done.
So the wild pitch charged to Shields, and Murphy is at second with nobody out. So the second wild pitch, and that's 4 on the year for James Shields. And the count 2-1 to Smoke with Max Ramirez on deck. And looking to hit the ball to the right side if he can, and Smoke with a weak swing, and it's 2-1.
Well, James needs a strikeout right here. You might as well go to that strikeout changeup, even if you have to double up on it with a 2-2 count. If you miss 2-2, throw it again, 3-2.
Fouled off the end of the bat, and Dave Anderson, the third base coach,
former teammate of mine in Albuquerque many moons ago.
You were all over, and of course we heard Joe Madden talk about the Texas League,
yeah.
San Antonio.
We managed against each other, Joe and I, back in '88.
Foul ball, remains 2-2. Interesting, Joe Madden talking about how much he learned from Gene Mauch. When Mauch, of course, had been with the Angels, he was an instructor out there. And he says, I probably took more from Gene Mauch than I did from anyone else.
Well, then Joe will tell you he knows the rule book, because Gene Mauch could recite the rule book better than most umpires.
He said Mauch seemed to come up with more things before others.
Yeah.
And he always said, you know, why didn't I think of that?
There it is.
Off-speed pitch, and Smoke goes down. That's a big out, 1 away to Max Ramirez.
Here it is. Here's that strikeout changeup. This is the right call and the right pitch. Look at the depth of that one. Movement fading away, and then the bottom drops out.
That's the 4th strikeout for James Shields, and here is Ramirez, who has reached twice with a sharp single and was safe on an error.
And he's been jumping on the first pitch, so you got to be aware of that. Calling pitches right here for John Jaso.
Max Ramirez called up late April from Oklahoma City, AAA. Just missed inside. 25-year-old catcher. Matt Trainer is the regular because he's a veteran, and he had been a workhorse this year. So Ramirez catching his second straight game for Texas. There's a strike, 1-1.
A little cutter right there that was effective, painting up the outside corner.
Speaking of catchers, the Rays now have 3 on their roster.
Yeah, and Gianno Navarro could be the odd man out. He says he has options left.
There's a base hit over the stretch of Brignac, and holding at third base will be Murphy as the throw comes in, and runners at first and third with 1 out as Ramirez with his second hit of the game, and that will bring to the plate Julio Bourbon.
Let's take a look at this pitch right here. Yeah, it kind of hung up there a little bit. I believe it was the changeup, but that one didn't have the depth. It didn't drop. It was up to begin with and kind of dropped right into his swing.
Joe Madden coming out to the mound to talk to James Shields, who has worked now 5 1/3 innings.
Well, you know, Dick, here's a situation. Joe Madden does that first and third play, the safety squeeze with 1 out. A lot, and he would do it in this situation with a guy like Bourbon up, and I think he's making the Rays aware that that play could be on by Ron Washington, because when you do that play, and he did that play, by the way, to beat the Rangers right here in his ballpark last year. That's how the Rays got their win, and I guarantee you Ronnie knows that play as well. I saw the Pirates do it the other day. When you do that enough and you get a reputation that you do it, people steal it from you.
And especially with someone like Bourbon, who's a good bunter.
It's the right combination of people to do it. That's why I bring it up.
So here is Bourbon, who was struck out on a called third strike and singled.
And you see Evan Longoria up at third base. That's exactly what Joe Madden went out there and made his defense aware of. Pena, see, he's charging. He's coming off the bag a little bit.
Charging from the corners, and the pitch is fouled back. Actually, Pena was coming in from third, and Longoria kind of held his ground.
Yeah, Longoria is already in on the grass. You look at Evan. See, he's going to the dugout saying, hey, is this where you want me? But Pena, if you look at Pena, Pena's off the bag at first base, catcher at first base, so you don't expect him to steal. So Pena's coming in just in case they try to push. And the idea of this play, if you do use it, is to push the ball to first base, make the first baseman field it.
Rangers trying to add to their lead. Up 4-1 here in the last of the 6th inning, trying to make it 2 in a row over the Tampa Bay Rays, who have been an outstanding road team this year. And there's the bunt, and it's a good one, and it's the squeeze, and out at first base, and Bourbon couldn't have done it any better. Textbook, and the Rangers get their 5th run of the game, and Bourbon with the RBI, and going to second is Ramirez.
Well, that's disheartening if you're Joe Madden, because he prepared his guys to defend that, but it was executed. Here's the difference, though. The runner at third is Murphy. This is a squeeze. This is not the safety squeeze. See, he's breaking. It's a straight squeeze. And Evans breaking with him. And it's just put down. Once the bunt's put down, you've got no chance but to make a play at first base. So that was a regular squeeze. That was not Joe Madden's safety squeeze play. But nonetheless, he was preparing his guys for a bunt, and that's good managing right there.
Elvis Andrus takes ball 1.
And when do you break as a runner? You break when the front foot of the pitcher is about to hit the dirt. Right before that. That's the timing of when you break.
And also known as the suicide squeeze, because if the batter misses the pitch, the runner at third is dead to rights.
Yeah, that's the suicide squeeze.
And there's a base hit to right field, and it's going to get past Ben Zobrist. And Ramirez will score easily. Rounding second is Andrus. He'll go into third easily with a triple. And the Texas Rangers now have opened up a 6-1 lead. Zobrist attempted to make the play, and it went by him. And 2 runs are in for the Rangers, who have 3 hits here in this 6th inning.
Yeah, that's a tough play for Ben Zobrist. He's trying to make a great play and trying to lay out right there, and gets caught really with a slide. He didn't exactly lay straight out, and the ball skips by him. And once it did that, you're thinking maybe inside the park home run.
And a slow hit ground ball And making the play is Brignac to retire the side, but the damage is done. 2 more runs for Texas, and they lead 6-1 as we go to the 7th. We'll return after this word.
Is when you take off. That's James Shields. A foot still in the air. David Murphy takes off. That is perfect timing when you break from third base. That is something that is taught. And I know I grew up in the Dodger organization. That's how we taught it. That's exactly what the Rangers did, and that's why Murphy got in there so easily. And on the other side, a perfect bunt. Just get it down in fair territory is all you got to do on a squeeze, and Bourbon did.
Hank Blaylock leading off here in the 7th and takes a strike. Blaylock is 1 for 2 with a double as we welcome you back to Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Chevrolet. And the former Ranger trying to get something going for the Rays and lines it foul. Interesting that the Rays with a 21-7 road record, not only the best in the major leagues, but only 4 teams in the last 50 years have had a better road record after 50 games. But on the other hand, the Rays have not played well here. And the pop foul by Blaylock and a play for Michael Young, and he makes the play for out number 1 as the Rays 1-5 here last year. And they have really had their problems, losing 8 of their last 13 here in this ballpark. And the weather, as we said, around 100 degrees. Chris Rose has more.
Yeah, I'd like 100 degrees down here. We're approaching 120. It was actually over 120, and Rays catcher Kelly Shopik did not believe me. And so he said, put it in the shade. I did. It dipped down to 115. Now it's climbing back to 120. It is ridiculous. I saw John Jaso in between innings, and he's been over by the cooler every half inning. And he said the most he's ever lost catching a game is 10 pounds. And I said, when do I get to borrow your equipment?
One hopper to Young, who is playing in, and Sean Rodriguez is retired for out number 2. Chris, I think you turned that dial up so that you would make us feel sorry for you.
Listen, that's what Shopik said. He said, I'm not buying it. Well, listen, we spare no expense here at Fox. Look at how cheap this thing is. There's no battery, there's no dial, there's no nothing. So this is Mom Nature,
right?
Signing in and saying almost $1.20 down here.
And a new use for scorecards, as we saw with a couple of those fans.
Innovative, absolutely. Well, I think John Jaso came in at about 200. He's probably about 175 right now because Right, Chris?
Seriously, if I can get on that weight loss plan, I'm going to wear catcher's gear wherever. I'll wear it back on the plane next to you tonight, Kevin.
I got it set for you, buddy.
Reed Brignac, who is 1 for 2 with a hit, hitting .298 on the year with 2 homers and 22 runs batted in. 2 down here in the 7th inning, and Tommy Hunter came into this inning with an 86 pitch count. Don't tell that to Nolan Ryan. We'll whisper about that.
He won't
despite
care.
The heat.
He won't care. You know, it's funny, Dick. Nolan usually sits down right there near the box seats.
There he is.
There he is. Yeah, okay, there he is. And I always think it's interesting because, you know, these pitchers, I've talked to many of the Texas Rangers pitchers the last couple of years, and I said, you guys take a peek, C.J. Wilson, you take a peek over there. There's Ruth. She's a wonderful wife, great lady. And they go, oh, yeah, we're very well aware when we come off the mound that no one's sitting right there looking at us.
There's a call strike. Well, you know what? You managed him, as we know, and this is hard to believe. 13 starts by Nolan Ryan. And I was shocked to learn that on July 19th, 1993, and I hope this isn't the last pitch of the inning. It just may be. We're going to keep you in suspense as Josh Hamilton makes the catch in fair territory. A 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Hunter. Looks like he's getting stronger as he goes on.
It does.
You actually removed Nolan Ryan from the game. How can you take this guy out?
You know what? It wasn't easy to ever take him out, but he made it easy for me. He was great.
Really good.
Yeah, it was tough sometimes.
You remember Craig Lefferts, who
Absolutely.
Came into the game?
Yep.
Craig Lefferts was the relief pitcher. So we had to give you a little bit of a needle here.
Yeah,
and,
you're right. Well, I'll tell you a quick story before the first pitch here. Is his day here was in September, his last big day, big party for him. Koufax came in, Clemens came in. Well, they were celebrating, and he pitched against the Twins. I'll have to continue the story that day. He had a rough outing.
And bad time.
And this is about Ruthie, too, his wife.
Ian Kinsler takes a strike.
So he had a rough outing against the Twins, Kirby Puckett. They were knocking him around, and I didn't want to take him out. He had all of his friends in. There was a big party in Fort Worth that night.
And there's a base hit for the Rangers. So once again, the leadoff man on, and it's Kinsler who's on base for the third time.
A big party at Gillies afterwards. The Negroes were in. And Gaylord Perry was. I mean, everybody that respected him, was invited in, and there was going to be a celebration after the game on the field. They were all going to talk, and then well, anyway, to finish this up, he had a tough outing. I didn't take him out, and by the time I took him out, of course, he was kicked around pretty good. Well, flash forward to the party that night. Ruthie gets me, Ruth, his wife, and says, I just got one, and she was great. She goes, Kevin, I got one question for you. Why didn't you take him out earlier? He was awful today. And I just exhaled.
That's
I
funny.
said, oh, thank you, Ruth. I said, I was so nervous only because it was his last big day here in Texas, in his last year in the big leagues.
Hey, these things can't be scripted.
No.
Vladimir Guerrero, the batter. And
True
there's
story.
a snap throw to first. And just getting back is Kinsler, barely.
Well, and if Texas runs here, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no lead is enough in this ballpark in the American League, really. Carlos was in front of the bag there.
Count to Vladimir Guerrero is 1-1 with nobody out. Lance Cormier throwing for the Rays. Shields working into the 7th inning has allowed 9 hits. And a one-hopper, Brignac, Rodriguez double play. And there are 2 away, second double play. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Chevrolet is sponsored by New Wheaties Fuel. Prepare to win. By Michelin, a better way forward. And by Lowe's, for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, let's build something together. So Vladimir Guerrero hitting into his second double play, sandwiched around a double, brings up Josh Hamilton, who has a 2-run homer in the first inning, 1 for 3 in a 6-1 Ranger lead. Swing and a miss for strike 1. By the way, that Kinsler base hit ended an 0 for 16 run, so maybe that's a sign of things changing for the Rangers' second baseman.
Well, that's 5 off-speed pitches in a row to Hamilton. James Shields struck out Josh in the 5th with 3 consecutive changeups, and he started him off with 2 off-speed pitches here.
Breaking ball, reaching.
6 in a row with the off speed. And that's what you've got to do until he proves he can hit it.
Here's the pitch count for Shields in the heat. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 away. 2-2 to Hamilton. Josh Hamilton, the #1 overall pick in the '99 draft, led the American League with 130 runs batted in 2008, and an all-star in 08 and 09. There you see Josh Hamilton came out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Spent parts of 4 years in the Rays system. Count goes now to 3-2. Two down, nobody on for the Rangers here in the 7th inning. They lead 6-1. Fair ball, backhanded by Pena, and he flips to Shields for the 3rd out of the inning. So we move to the 8th inning, and it's a 6-1 Rangers lead. the Rays in the 8th inning. They'll start out with B.J. Upton, the number 9 hitter. Then the top of the order, John Jaso and Carl Crawford against Tommy Hunter. Did you expect Hunter to be out here in the 8th?
I didn't know that he could go 8. I mean, knew he was deep enough in his rehab or minor league assignment. He had 6 starts. So that's plenty to go, into the 9th inning if you can minimize the pitch count. I said that word. I know no one won't like that.
Whisper when we say that.
But he's been pretty economical overall.
Chris Ray, right-hander, is throwing in the bullpen, and there you see the economical pitches. He had a couple of innings of 18 in the 4th and the 5th.
Yeah, I mean, 98 pitches. I mean, he'd be out there if it was the 6th inning, 7th inning, 98 pitches. He's already into the 8th.
And the Rays have Joaquin Benoit, the former Ranger, warming up. There's Ray. 1-1 to Upton, and it's 2-1 now to the Rays center fielder, who was 0 for 2.
Chris Ray came over in that Kevin Millwood deal, and it makes me think with what's going on in Baltimore, that'd be a pretty ideal guy to try to get back to the Rangers, Kevin Millwood.
Late swing by Upton there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's Benoit, who
been great.
A veteran who did not really want to leave Texas, and says it's going to be weird coming back. And he says, I may get lost. I may not know where to go.
Go to the wrong clubhouse.
Off the fist, Michael Young. And there's one away here in the 8th inning. Tell you what, Tommy Hunter really has settled down beautifully. He has retired 5 in a row and 9 of the last 10.
Yeah, he's going to be a big part of their rotation if he can throw the ball like this. And last year we talked about he won 9 games, and unfortunately for the Rangers, he got hurt in spring training, but he's back now, even though Derek Holland is down. Well, elbow issues.
John Jaso 0 for 3, reached on an error to start the game, and a breaking pitch over for a strike by Hunter, who was allowed 5 hits. There have been 4 errors in the game, 2 on each side. Fastball. Last night in the series opener, and the Rays were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They had a 4-0 lead at one point, and then the 7-run 4th inning really decided it, and that's most runs allowed in one inning by Tampa Bay this year. Past the mound, Andrews, 2 down. Well, 3 weeks from tonight, Fox Saturday Baseball ventures into prime time. It was successful the first time around, and we're going to go at it again. Prime time baseball on a Saturday. Yankees against the Dodgers. Boy, did they meet so many times in the World Series. Red Sox and Giants. That's a good coastal matchup. And Cubs and White Sox as we get closer in the neighborhood. That's coming up 3 weeks from tonight. So with 2 down, Carl Crawford the hitter. He is 0 for 3 today. And the Rangers sailing along, leading 6-1. Yankees lost to Toronto, and a great opportunity for the Rays to narrow the gap to 1 game in the AL East, but it could be 2 again if they don't come back. And Crawford lifts it in the air to shallow left field, and coming on over the center fielder, Bourbon makes the play at a 1-2-3 inning. Well, if Hunter is through, and we're not sure, he's finishing strong. for the most sports, period, by Toyota and by Sears Blue Lawn and Garden Crew. And the new pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays is veteran Joaquin Benoit, 32-year-old, who's experienced a homecoming here and was the longest tenured Ranger when he left after 14 years, and coming in relief of James Shields.
Well, he had a very good spring for Tampa Bay. They sent him to AAA, missed all of last year, of course, with an injury, arm injury, surgery. And if you look at the numbers, 273 as far as games pitched, the 6th most in Rangers history, with the Rangers for most of the 2000s there, 2001 to 2009. But he has been great. He's healthy. He got called up, and from day one, he's been great. Fastballs at 94, 95. Great changeup. Really good changeup.
And facing David Murphy, who singled his last time up, swings at the first pitch. Murphy is 1 for 3 today. And the only inning that the Rangers have not hit safely was the 3rd, when they had the leadoff man on, and the Rays executed the first of the 2 double plays. 0-2 now to Murphy.
One of the strengths of Tampa Bay is their bullpen. With Soriano closing, he's been perfect this year, been great. But Benoit, because he can get lefties out with that great changeup, so he's really going to be a key guy here, especially with J.P. Howell out for the year, their lefty, who was so good the last couple of years.
And the 0-2 pitch, strike 3, and Murphy is out. And the strikeout. Brian Onora, third base umpire, is kind enough to wear the microphone. And, what do you want to talk about? Nothing. Well, the weather. How about that?
All right. You know what? I've been out here worse than this. Is in St. Louis and Kansas City, where the humidity is absolutely.
You got a little breeze out here.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's hot, but it's not that. It's all right.
Game's moving.
Yeah.
Matter of opinion. Justin Smoke takes the first pitch for ball 1 in the 8th with 1 out.
Well, you know what? They're right about St. Louis. I mean, it can get hot, and Kansas City. In Atlanta, hot and humid.
2 balls and no strikes. Justin Smoke really symbolizing perhaps the future of these Texas Rangers.
It's a good big league name, isn't it? Justin Smoke.
Smoke's one.
Yep.
We'll be hearing that one. Another breaking ball, and it's 3-0. So Benoit falls behind 3-0. This may be the first 3-0 count we've had today.
Yeah, you might be right about that. It's the game has moved pretty fast for some of the sloppy play we saw in the errors early.
3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. And of course, in the pregame show, Chris Rose paid homage to the great John Wooden, who passed away yesterday at the age of 99. And more than just a college basketball coach, obviously a great person and one of the great coaches of all time. And you grew up in Los Angeles, Kevin, so you know all about Coach Wooden.
I grew up a UCLA Bruin basketball fan. I grew up went to Taft High School in Woodland Hills, and I know this game goes to L.A., but our coach, John Furlong, was a fan and friend of John Woods, and we played UCLA basketball. We had to learn how to do bank shots, the press defense, the offense, everything. And you got a chance to meet John a couple of times, and what a great man.
And everyone always has their favorite saying or phrase from the coach.
Yeah, he had so many great sayings, but I like one, especially for baseball, but for anything really, is failure to prepare is preparing for failure. That's one of them that I love. Failure to prepare is preparing for failure.
Back to Ramirez. Yeah.
Says it all right there.
I'll tell you the one I like. I mean, there were so many of them. Liked them all. Pitches outside. 2-0 to Max Ramirez, who has singled twice, reached on an error, so he's been aboard 3 times today. Smoke on it. First with a walk with 1 out in the 8th. It's been all Texas. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the 6th. And the Rays scoring their solo run back in the 2nd inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch, 3-0. Be quick, but don't hurry.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
And if you think about it,
could apply that to a lot of things.
Yes.
Definitely hitting. He could apply that to if you want to throw it. And he liked baseball, by the way. He was a big baseball fan.
He said baseball was his favorite
That's
sport.
something.
Yes. He said it was my first love. Talked about the big ball of basketball. He says that's what he liked about that to start. Here's the 3-0, and it's a call strike. And you know, it was today's world. A coach wouldn't be able to go to a school like UCLA and coach 16 years, not win a championship or come close to one. You'd be on the streets, and it took him 16 years before he won that first title in '64.
Isn't that something? Absolutely. You remember those teams, those first Gail Goodrich teams?
Yes. Longoria goes over to Rodriguez, and an around the horn double play will take care of the Rangers in the 8th inning. And we go to the 9th inning. John Wooden, an icon, a legend, passes our way. Rays come up for their last chance here in the 9th inning against Tommy Hunter, who's out to try to pitch the complete game. He has one complete game in his career coming into this game, and the first pitch is ball 1 to Evan Longoria. So it'll be Longoria, Zobrist, and Pena, the heart of the Rays order, trailing by 5 runs here in the 9th. Ball strike, 1-1.
I think he took a look over at Nolan Ryan in between innings. No one gave him a look.
Yeah. Get out there.
Go back out there. There is no pitch count.
So Raymond Tommy Hunter III, who getting a chance today only because of the injury to Derek Holland, the left-hander, who last Sunday, normally a 94-mile-an-hour fastball pitcher, throwing in the 80s. Something was wrong, and it was obvious in the first inning at Minnesota. And let's see if that pitch hit Longoria or hit the bat.
Yeah, the umpire threw his hands up, as just meaning it hit
foul
the
ball,
bat.
right.
Yeah, foul ball. Right? Yep.
Yeah.
I think Longo in this game just glad he didn't get hit. It's the last thing the Rays need.
Longoria with a double has struck out 2 other occasions. 4 strikeouts for Tommy Hunter today. And the breaking pitch. This is 3-2 to Longoria, trying to get aboard here. And you talked to Joe Madden about how many times that the Rays, who always give you the effort for 27 outs, have come back. They have a big hill to climb here. And Longoria lifts a fly ball to right field, and David Murphy, plenty of room, and that'll be out number 1. And here is the Toyota in-game box score for the Rangers. And they have 10 hits in this game. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Elvis Andrus starts it off, 2 for 4, a triple, a double, 2 RBIs, doing a great job in a leadoff spot. I mean, you have to consider him as an all-star this year. And how about the bottom of the order? I mean, even Murphy, Smoke, Max Ramirez, Bourbon getting the squeeze down. A lot of depth in this lineup, 1 through 9.
Just like last night when the bottom third, 7 for 10. Here's Ben Zobrist, and he takes a strike. Major League Baseball and People Magazine are recognizing individuals who make a difference in their community. So go to peopleallstars.com and vote for your favorite everyday all-star who could represent your club and be honored at the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim, July 13th on Fox. Ground ball, Justin Smoke off his glove into right field. And let's see, Ben Zobrist will go to first base and actually made the turn and ran into the pitcher.
Yeah, that's just a ball that Smoke boots. That's the ball play. Him skips into right field, and Ben, you've got nowhere to go. 5 runs down. I know they run hard all the time, but easy.
So that's the 3rd error committed by the Rangers, but it apparently at this point won't hurt them as they have a 5-run lead. But we'll see. Carlos Pena, who is 0 for 3. And we want to welcome the viewers who saw the Mets beat the Florida Marlins for the 2nd straight game, winning 6-1, and a ground ball to Smoke, the Texas first baseman, who makes the play for out number 2. And now it's time for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge spotlight. And if you just joined us, you still can see Tommy Hunter, who came in and pitching today because of an injury to Derek Holland, getting an opportunity, his first start of the year. And there you see the rundown, and Hunter with the tag out of Longoria, and the Texas Rangers leading 6-1. And it was a 2-run homer by Josh Hamilton in the first inning as Texas scored 3 runs, and that's all she wrote. And a 6-1 lead with 2 out. Hank Blaylock, the former Ranger, and the last chance for the Rays. Dick Stockton, Kevin Kennedy, Chris Rose is here in temperatures on the field reaching almost 120.
Yeah, and the pitch count's at about 120. No, it's at 115 actually right now, which, as Nolan Ryan said, and Ron Watson earlier in the game, he can go as deep as he's pitching well.
And we want to tell you, just as Tommy Hunter gives the Rangers the edge, you too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. And a lot of ways for the fans to stay cool, but they've enjoyed the way the Rangers have pitched and hit today. And a line drive to Smoke, and that'll do it. And the game is over. And the Texas Rangers have beaten the Tampa Bay Rays for the 2nd straight game. And the Rays will remain 2 games behind the Yankees in the American League East. And the Rangers winning their 30th game of the year, looking to increase their lead over the Oakland A's, now at a game and a half in the AL West, in the battle of division leaders in the American League. So Hunter, the winning pitcher, 1-0. And Shields, the losing pitcher, 5-4 on the year.
Well, Tommy Hunter will be back in the rotation full time now. That wasn't just an appearance for Derek Holland. It just opened it up a little bit sooner than maybe the Rangers anticipated. But he won 9 games for him last year, and he will be in the rotation after that start the rest of the way, I'm sure.
No question. And the Ranger bats were sizzling today with 10 hits in all, and it was the bottom of the order that did it again. Smoke had a hit and a walk. Max Ramirez had 2 hits. Bourbon in the number 9 slot had a base hit. Vladimir Guerrero also a double. And right now, let's send it over to Chris Rose with the winning pitcher going all the way, Tommy Hunter. Chris.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Your first start of 2010. Let's be honest. Did you think you could go the distance on a day like today?
It was hot, but, I mean, they made some good plays behind me. It was just a matter of fact, me and Max were just on the same page tonight, and we got the job done.
Out of curiosity, I know you've been at this game for a few years, but did it feel... Obviously, you're not a true veteran. Well, there you go. There you go. How's that one taste, okay?
It tastes like shaving cream.
That's okay. We'll get you a different flavor next time. Did you get a little nervous out there? Because, I mean, it is your first start of the season, even though these guys have been at it for 2 months.
I mean, you're always nervous. It's your first time out, and, it's just good to go out. They gave me the ball, and, that's what you're supposed to go out and do. So, I just tried to keep us in the game, and, they scored some runs. Josh, hits another home run tonight. I mean, the guy hits like 20 home runs when I pitch. So we were joking about that the other day, that, he always hits a home run when I pitch. The watch was asking if I could throw every game. So it's just, it's fun to come back, and I'm glad to be back.
So much has been made of the pitch count this year with the Texas Rangers, basically taking that stat and throwing it in the garbage. As a starting pitcher, that must be music to your ears, right?
It's good. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to go out there. So, I mean, that's what it is. I'm tired.
Yeah, but at least you're clean, which is important here.
Smell good, right?
Yeah, I would say you've got a little shaving cream behind the ears, but, hey, congratulations on your second career complete game. And, yeah, go shower up. All right, guys, let's send it back on up to you.
Well, he'll take that any time. The shaving cream in the face. And here is today's Copper Tone Sports shining play of the game. And a guy who really needed it, who had been struggling a bit, Josh Hamilton. And Hamilton with the 2-run homer in the first inning after a run scored on an error. Hamilton with his 11th home run. Now 32 runs batted in, knocking in the 2 runs to give the Rangers a 3-0 lead after 1. And he is our Copper Tone Sport shining play of the game. And we'll wrap things up from Texas right after these messages from your local Fox station.